Hi folks, it's Brenton Weiberg here with Access Investment Properties. Today we're going to take a second and dissect a deed so that they're more easy to read. Because if you've ever looked at a deed or if you've never looked at a deed, they can be a little intimidating at first. So we're going to break it down into its parts, and hopefully by the end it'll be a little more clear how to read a deed. So let's take a look at a typical deed. This is just a fake one that I made up for the purpose of this presentation. If you look at the bottom, a deed is simply a legal instrument that is duly signed that transfers title. So if you want that in more simple terms that isn't legal jargon, it's simply a document that changes ownership of property when it is signed correctly. And if you want to know more about deeds and the difference between a deed and a title, you can watch my other video that I did about that. But for this purposes, let's just dive right into the deed. The first part is the top part at the margin. Really, this isn't a necessary part of a deed. This is usually a county requirement. They tell you what can and can't go in that top margin and how big the margin has to be. So if you want to record it at the county, which you will if it's a deed, you'll want to go see what your county says about the margins. Okay, so in this example, the only thing this county will allow us to put in there is the requesting party's name and address, and then where you want records mailed to. Okay, the next thing is the type of deed. So you can see the title of the deed. This is a warranty deed. If you want more information on the different types of deeds, I also did a video on that. You can go see that video and it'll explain the 3 most common types of deeds. But this is a warranty deed. The next part is what's called consideration. So this is an important part of any enforceable contract. It has to have consideration. So in a deed, this is the line that talks about consideration. For the consideration of $10 and other valuable considerations, I or we, and then it will go on. So just so you know, consideration in legal terms or in real estate terms is anything valuable in exchange for land. So it can be money, it can be anything that you could put a value to. It's kind of confusing, but go ahead and look up legal consideration if you want to know about that. But this is an essential part of the contract to make it enforceable. And then you'll see that it says $10. Most deeds don't disclose the actual amount being considered. They just state that there has been an exchange of valuable consideration for the property, right, to make the document legal. But a lot of people don't want to disclose what they're paying or what they're receiving for money or for the property. So depending on the state, each state has maybe a minimum consideration for real estate. Anyways, it's common to just put some portion of money and then other valuable consideration. So it's still honest. I received at least $10 and some other consideration for this property, but they're not going to disclose it. Some states you have to disclose in other documents, but a lot of the time people don't put the full price of the property in the deed. All right, the next part is the grantor definition of who the grantor is in this scenario. So the grantor is simply the person who has the land and is transferring it to someone else. So in this case, it's Access Investment Properties. That's me and my brother's LLC. So the first portion just says the name of the entity. So Access Investment Properties LLC. It describes that entity, person or entity. So we're a Wyoming limited liability company with this mailing address. And then it defines us as the grantor. So the grantor, or plural if there's 2 people. And then it simply says, hereby conveys to, and then we move on to the next statement. This is the definition of the grantee. So we are giving this to a made-up person or made-up couple, Fred Bunyan and Janice Bunyan. So right, it puts their names, again, like it did in the grantor statement. So their names, comma, and then describes them. A married couple as joint tenants. So it's saying they're a married couple, and it's telling the world how they're taking title. So how are they going to possess this land? And that's as joint tenants. If you'd like to know the difference between joint tenants, tenants in common, which are the most common ways to take land as more than one person. I have a video on that. Check that video out. All right, so then it defines them as the grantee. Okay, so the last statement said here's the person giving the land, and they're giving it to, and then they declare here the couple, and then it says that we're granting the following described real property situated in the county of Yakima, state of Washington. So now it's about to describe what we're giving. So those last two statements that I gave you, those are the parties involved in the contract. That's the second essential piece of a contract in order to make it enforceable. So the first one was consideration, the second is parties. So this declares the parties. All right, so the next section is what's called the subject. So what is the topic of this contract? This is the land. This is the third piece of a legally enforceable document. So this must also be in here. So in this case, they've put the parcel number and then the legal description. Tract 90, Sunrise Horizon Developments. Okay, this can be a little confusing. If you go to the county website, you should probably be able to find the parcel number to any property. You should also be able to find the legal description, which sometimes it talks about, like here it's talking about the development and the lot number, and then it talks about where this is recorded at the county. Sometimes it talks about sections and townships and ranges, which are surveying terms, and then sometimes it simply says the lot number and where it's recorded in the county recorder's office. So this description can vary. The important thing is this description has to match exactly the deed that the grantor has in order for it to transfer from the grantor to the grantee. If that makes sense. Also, I should have noted, when we put the name of the grantor also has to match the previous deed in order for them to be able to record it and move it from the grantor to the grantees. So it's important that the description matches and the grantor's name matches exactly. All right. If you want to know more about legal descriptions, I'm probably going to do a video of that soon, so come back and check out the channel. All right, let's move on. The next thing is what the deed is guaranteeing, basically the details of the deed. Sometimes this won't be there or there won't be much here about it. In this case, it's a warranty deed. So it just states that the grantor binds itself and its successors to warrant the title. So a warranty deed, if you watch the video about warranty deeds, is a very strong type of deed that offers good protection. So it warrants against any acts against the title. Again, if this all doesn't make sense, check out the video on types of deeds. Anyways, so this could say anything. This portion might have legal right-of-ways that someone's taken out of the property or added to the property. There might be other rights guaranteed or other things taken out. This is an important part. Read through it just to see what's coming with the land and what isn't coming with the land. Okay, then this portion is called consent. It's the fourth and final thing that makes a legal document or a document enforceable by law. And this is where the grantor would sign. So in this case, it's got my brother's name, who is a managing member of our LLC. It might have my name, or it might have, if I was married and we were as a couple granting the property to someone else, we would both sign this. All right, and then the signature needs to be witnessed and notarized. So you will take this whole document to a public notary and you'll sign in front of him or her, and they will put their seal on it. Once the seal is on it, it has then been what they call duly signed. So now the document is enforceable, the property has been transferred technically. The last step is what they call perfecting the deed, which is to record it at the county so that the county has a record that the property has moved from the grantor to the new grantees. All right, that's it. I hope it wasn't too intimidating. I know as with anything, there were words maybe that I said that you might need to look up, or check out our other videos where I explain title, warranty deeds, and all that good stuff. Anyways, this is a typical deed. I also want to note not all deeds look exactly like this. This one just happens to have nice paragraph breaks between all the different parts. Not all deeds have that. It might just be one big paragraph globbed together. They might be in a little bit different order, but those are the different parts of a deed, and all deeds should have those parts. And hopefully now it's not intimidating. Hey guys, thanks for watching. If you enjoyed what you saw and learned something new, please like our video and subscribe to the channel.
Also, jump down below and leave us a comment. Let us know how you like this video and what you'd like to see in the future.
And if you know someone else who would enjoy this information, please feel free to share this video.
But most importantly, if you're interested in rural vacant land and want the very best price, go over to accessland.com and check out our current listings or give us a call.
Also, don't forget to check out the other videos on our channel. We'll give you some time to do that.
Don't forget to leave a comment. Alright, let's get out of here.